I mean, the way it was cold, and it was just a few little moments with him, with my 3-year-old. Can you stack these blocks and make it a choo-choo train? Can you draw a circle with an X in it? Walk down the hall and walk back. And I remember when he was walking down the hall, he's a toe walker. And I was like, we're using different orthotics, and he's like, just don't even bother. Just leave the kid. Just don't even bother. And he just looked at us and said, he'll never move out. He'll never go to college.
You need to make sure you have your finances in order.
Because you'll be taking care of him for the rest of your life. He's 3. Well, we got married pretty quickly. We were engaged about 9 months after we met and married about 5 months after that. And we actually were blessed with a really quick pregnancy. So we found out, I think 4 months later, we found out we were expecting Davis.
I definitely had visions of grandeur of having a child that played sports, a son that I could enjoy throwing the ball around with, or fishing, things of that nature. So I'd say that was probably one of the biggest things, selfishly for me, that I think I wanted to experience.
We were just chugging along, and Davis even had a little girl that he had a crush on, and we remember he walked for her, and he just was so into her, and play dates and all the things that parents expect to have. And then there was this sharp switch in Davis. We had no idea anything about autism, and we didn't know what was going on, so it was really scary.
You heard this doctor tell you things that, in his professional opinion, on some level were probably accurate to a degree. But what he didn't know and couldn't know is that to be able to impact so many other people as a result of Davis's autism. And I always think about 2 Corinthians 4, and this is not our home. We've always talked about that. One day we will see Davis whole again. That gives us hope. So while we don't have hope right now in this moment on earth, to see him in that way, it's we do know that we are gonna see him again whole one day, and I can't wait to see, his voice is so pretty. I can say that because he's my son, he's 14. But his voice is so lovely when he talks. I love listening to him talk when he does talk. But to be able to hear him one day, speak to us in a creative, in an emotional way of, man, Dad, Mom, I love you guys. Thank you for all you did. Or, Dad, man, you sure were a dummy. About some things, like whatever. Gosh, I just look forward to that day. But all of that aside, it's like there has always been a calling, and it's been God's plan that we're here right now, even in this video. Like, this is all purposeful, and that is beautiful, and it's hard, and there's so much about it that, quite frankly, stinks. But it is such a privilege to have this opportunity. One of the things that Ellen's done such an amazing job with is in realizing that there was no community out there for us to engage with and get support from, and just talk to people who are in the same boat. She always had that vision. I can't believe there's not something out there. There's not a way to communicate with people. We're on an island. We're alone in this. And
it was so isolating back then. It was so, for my son, I was so lonely and just wanting him to be involved in some kind of community. I was raised in the church, and that's how I envisioned raising my kids, was in the church. And I was like, okay, we'll find a church that will accept us. And we really came across some really devastating experiences. My son is part of the body of Christ, and he has a place there, and he should. I was walking on the beach just all bent out of shape and praying to the Lord and just saying, can you believe this, God? Kind of thing. Can you believe believe the nerve, and he just was like, I felt the words of be part of the solution. Quit complaining and do something about it, Ellen. So right now, the stats are 11% of churches are able to welcome anybody who walks into their church, meaning disability ministry, being able to meet the needs, just welcome, befriend anybody who walks through their doors, 10 to 11%. We want to see that number change because we've experienced just the growth and the power of when you can sit down with another mom that said, we had a horrible day yesterday. Let me tell you what happened. And you're able to say, I've been through that, or I hear you, like that's totally normal in my house. There's nothing out there in the world that gives hope to this community of families living with disabilities like the Bible. The role of the church for families like this, that is the solution for just abolishing isolation and that deep-rooted loneliness and the shame even, because there are these moms and these dads and these brothers and these sisters and the individuals impacted who have just been hidden, their lives hidden, silenced by isolation and sorrow. And the enemy's number one tactic in our life is isolation, and no one gets you, and it can't happen, and it's too scary, and it's too much of a risk. And those are all of the lies that we want to just push aside and say, churches, we're going to help you out. We're going to give you the resources. You'll learn so much about the different disabilities, and it's not as intimidating as you think. And you're going to watch stories and hear journeys from families that will change your life. But I believe the time is now, and I can't wait to see the impact it has on the church and on the world, because it's going to be powerful. I'm excited.